can't.
Hello, and welcome to the Super Business Women Show on the Financial Power Hours here on Intellectual Radio. I am CEO Lexi, giving you all things couture, and I definitely want to thank you all for tuning in and listening in on us, because you could be listening to anything, but you're here listening to these gems that me and my wonderful co-hosts will be dropping today. Who else is here with me today?
Yes. Welcome to this 2 hours of information with our names, God's goddesses. We're no longer thoroughbreds.
Thank God.
I'm Shavonna from Anointed Accounting, giving you all the financial information that you need. Please feel free to call in at 708-223-8953.
Hi there. This is Sharon Locke, Love, Loans, and Lifestyle. Thank you for joining me on our date today. Remember, it's every Saturday we're dating now.
Yes.
Here on IHEART Radio, download the Intellectual app. Join us live on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Right? It's not Twitter; it's X. So join us on there at Char Lewis.
Hi, everybody. I'm Crystal Lewis, and I am your realtor here. I'm here to discuss real estate with you. I'm here to discuss the criminal justice system. And if you have any interest in discussing lingerie, picking up some, I'm your lingerie lady, too. So that's me.
That is super exciting. So, guys, I hope everybody is prepared for today. Some things that I touched on last Saturday was operating yourself as a business as an independent musician. So I did have some things I wanted to talk a little bit more on that. I actually brought some of that up last night in one of my interviews. And I feel like it's appropriate since we're all business women.
Yes.
And we have this amazing event coming up, and this is important. So that event, if you guys haven't heard already, is the $1 Million of Funding Small Business Summit, which takes place Sunday, November 17th from 1 to 7 p.m. at Zickamo Suites, which is located at 6343 South Western Avenue in Chicago. Tickets are on sale now. They're only $75. So make sure you get those tickets. You go to www.americandreamtaxoffice.net. And we also still have some sponsorship opportunities available. So I definitely look forward to seeing all the businesses, entrepreneurs. If you're interested in starting a business, be at this event, get these gems. There's so much information that is going to be given that day. So leading into that, as everybody knows, for the most part, that I am a music executive. I am the CEO and founder of Couture Music Management, as well as my subsidiaries. So my primary focus over the years has been the education and the empowerment of independent musicians and labels. So what I did touch on a little bit last week was that you need to operate yourself as a business. And that might give question marks, because what does that mean?
Yes.
So what that means is that you need to incorporate yourself. I'm not going to speak too much on if you should be an LLC or if you should be an S corp, because
do your research. That is most valuable. Ask questions.
And you know what I was actually thinking on the way here, Shavonna, is since you're in that particular field, have you represented any entertainers?
No, I have not yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Probably very soon.
Very soon. Everything's going to happen soon. So maybe tomorrow, that's just how soon. So I'm just optimistic. Anybody could give me a phone call. There is no law written where it says I have to be rich or I have to have a certain amount of money to have an accountant or to have an accounting agency represent me. So I talk to anybody. If you collect cans for a living, you can have an accountant.
Hey, let's get those write-offs.
Right. Right, that part. Yes.
But as an entertainer, there are some specific things that you can actually write off. So that's why I was kind of asking about that, even like from your wardrobe and things like that. If there's some obvious specifications, they has to be purchased specifically for events. And so, but there is some things that I'm pretty sure a lot of artists don't even understand that the money that they're actually spending without even having any tracking of that can actually be written off.
Yeah, some of it, yes.
Yeah. But
yes, it's publications out there, and again, that's why it's best to have an accountant to talk to.
Absolutely,
it's best to get someone who's familiar and whom also does the research, right?
Yeah.
Because again, you don't want anybody telling you anything,
right?
And to touch bases, piggyback off what you just said about last week, we also touched on. Shar brought up integrity,
yes.
and my line was trust. So with that, like you said, entertainers just don't know, what they're supposed to be. So
True.
that trust lies there. And in all of our fields, Chicago's finest here, our real estate agent, you dealing with music, we have to have what they call that blind trust. Mm-hmm. Because again, you're being vulnerable and you're opening up yourself and your personal business to these people, and that's where that trust comes in at. And that blind trust, I can give you an example, is what me and Brian had. Mm-hmm. And me and Brian met during the pandemic, the end of 2019 going into 2020. He had told me, look, you're going to do my taxes. Didn't ask no process, didn't ask nothing, just
signed you up.
I'm gonna have Brittany send you over my documents, and I didn't do anything but laugh. And I'm like, who does he think he is? But it was that blind trust. And to add to that, last Saturday was the first time we had ever saw each other face to face.
Wow.
So that's blind trust.
So I was bullied today and told by Brian that I'll have an assistant by December 1st, and that I cannot function or go forward past December 1st without an assistant. I wasn't asked. And when I tried to tell him that, hey, listen, I got it under control, he called me back, threatened to sing to me.
Oh,
yeah. Now you see why he needs to be in that yellow suit.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, absolutely. I think I've changed the color. I would like baby blue.
Baby blue. Oh, God. Yes. Brian and baby blue.
And, of course, our CEO, Lexi, could go ahead and host that. Like, yes, I think we should have that.
I can put a shindig together.
We can facilitate that.
Yeah,
you can facilitate that. Okay.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yes,
I think it's important to have an assistant, though. So that's some pretty solid bullying.
Oh, absolutely. He said some other things that we won't get into on the radio. But yeah, I felt bullied, right? I started to go and call and get a case report and stuff, but it was I was left with no choice.
It's like you don't have a choice with Brian, right? It's
absolutely.
I think you always have a choice.
No,
Brian
you do,
but not with Brian. Sometimes Brian just don't. Right, he don't care about your process. He doesn't care how you're set up. Look, this is what I want to do, and I had to tell him, bruh, slow down.
So what he did today was he was asking me a series of questions, and he was like, "Yeah, I know it's a little intrusive, but I need this information for the next question." So, I gave it to him. It was no big deal. However, I'm getting an assistant in a few weeks, needless to say.
Right.
Well, I think, if I could say that, I think that getting an assistant is good if it's necessary. But absolutely. It is a very close quarters when you have an assistant. So for me personally, I would suggest, just me making a suggestion, to interview the assistant.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Definitely. My problem with him is what I told him was, listen, honey, I don't have time to interview and make a mini-me, because that's basically what an assistant is.
Yes.
And he told me I don't have a choice not to.
Right. So Crystal, since you made that comment, do know that Brian's going to be calling you next, telling you your date when you're going to get an assistant. I'm sure Brian's gonna try to call me, but I use my block list also.
So, if you want to offer up an assistant, I'll take out the time for the interview of the assistant because I think that it can help you move forward.
It's just that I think what happened is we got into a conversation, and I think what happened in me explaining everything, so he knows, I'm transparent, so he knows everything I have on my plate, and it's a lot. Balancing, I hadn't been to sleep in 2 days, but I'm insisted on getting everything done. So I hadn't been to sleep. I think I had like 3 hours in like 2 days. So
you look fabulous for 2 hours of sleep.
Well, thank you, honey. Look, I'm still here or there.
We got to put that out there.
So yeah, that's where that came in. He just didn't wake up and say, "Hey, you need an assistant." It was because of everything on my plate. And then we covered some more ground, which I ended up texting him back. And this is the only time I'm going to say this. I told him he was wonderful.
Oh, that's sweet. He is wonderful.
And that we're forever locked. So,
yes.
I appreciated the push, although I was irritated when he pushed. But the reflection was I appreciated it. So thanks, B.
And you got to appreciate that because there's love behind it. And
that's true.
As he said last week, he has more than just a business relationship. He calls and you have these meetings and you have these disagreements and the love is still there. But again, that goes back to that trust and building that relationship and building that foundation. And
see, it's a little more to me than trust. It has to be total integrity because if you don't have integrity, I can't trust you. So I can't be transparent if you don't have integrity. So it goes back to the integrity part of everything. It's the forefront of everything.
Yes.
So
and it speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
Because it's there.
Absolutely.
You see all 4 of us are here.
Yeah.
Second show, many more to come. So
and we always got to give, like I gave Brian his flowers last night on our interview, and that there's certain people, how I worded it, that God sends into your life and like spotlights the things in you that you may not even see in yourself.
Absolutely.
And Brian has been one of those people, especially in my life, that's like, hey, I know you do this, and you do that, and do this, but I see more for you. And that uncomfortable, like, well, I don't know. That's that moment you're like, wait a minute. If somebody else outside of me that doesn't even know me personally, and they can see that in me, then you got to dive into that uncomfortable zone, and you have to see like, okay, we know there's no growth in comfort. So when somebody makes you uncomfortable with suggestions and things like that, that is outside of your, well, this is what I'm used to.
Yes.
Go for it.
You got to. And
go for it.
You got to.
It was a little different for me because I'm the one that is the pusher. I'm I'm normally the bully in the family, the bully in the friendship. I'm a little overwhelming with personality. So for someone to not only provide, I'm the solution provider. I tell my family, my friends, they know if you come to me, it's a solution. We're not going to banter back and forth. I am going to provide a solution.
Yes.
And execute it. So for him to provide me a solution, me the support, kudos to him.
Well, we have all different types of personality types.
Yes.
So with the team that I'm on, we took this personality thing, this personality A.
Yes, I took it.
Right. So for me, I'm kind of more in the middle of everything. I think a lot of times people say, well, I'm a high D personality. I'm a jerk. I can be this way and I can be that way. But that's no excuse to be that way. So a lot of times when you have those very strong personalities, a lot of times people feel like they have to be on eggshells to speak with you or offer you advice, because I have some friends that have very high personalities. But the reality of it is that you can't have an equally yoked relationship, friendship, or anything if a person has to walk on eggshells. So for Brian to express himself with someone who has a strong personality, as you described yourself as having, that is a big deal. It is, and it's very admirable of him to do that, because a lot of times we are so concerned with tainting the relationship that we don't say how we feel. But to me, it's all in how you say everything.
But is it an authentic relationship if you cannot be transparent?
I agree.
And honest with someone.
I agree.
Is the relationship authentic.
No, that's just someone you
That's a
wanna
surface
talk to.
relationship
I agree.
because
True.
if you can't take redirection and correction, then we probably don't have a real relationship because
Not at
I
all.
can take redirection and correction because that's a part of growth. That's how
Yes.
you get to the next level. You can't fix what you don't face.
It's all in how you say it for me, though.
Well,
That's how I
sometimes.
am.
so for me,
Sometimes you
it
can't
depends
be
on
so
who it is.
nice.
My sister's not going to sugarcoat anything. She's going to call me and say, listen, chick, you did this, 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 and this, and that's not cool. Don't do it anymore. Period. That's it, right? And then, if I'm dealing with a coworker or someone I'm working with, they may come with a different approach.
Correct.
So it's all about personality.
Right.
I don't expect one of my friends with a big personality to come to me and say, oh,
Correct.
So I receive it based on who it is, their energy, and our relationship and what I know them to be. So some people aren't going to sugarcoat it for me. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I
They
don't
gonna tell you the
want it
truth.
sugar coated, but I want you to have some tact when you talk to me. I want for you to speak with me. I find that in business and just in relationships, a lot of times people tend to think that they can just say whatever when you do have a passive or a kind spirit, more of a projected kind spirit. But me personally, I'm not. It's all in your approach. You could tell me anything as long as you say it to me with a level of tact and class. That's how I get
Well,
along.
also they may feel like they have that relationship with you where they don't always have to be intact. They can step outside of the box, or they can come to you with another approach.
Well, you have to think of it like this too. Everyone has a different personality, and your perception of what they say could be not how they intended to say it. And it all depends on your filter. If you're what your traumas are along your journey, whatever filter you're ingesting the information also, because you can say one thing. If people who have multiple children, you could say one thing, the same thing to different children, and it's received different ways. So it's all about relationship, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
And also, iron sharpens iron. So when we do get that criticism, that's kind of the helpful criticism. That
Yeah, it
constructive
just makes
criticism.
you want to better yourself.
Yes.
It's like a challenge. It's like, okay, wait,
Yeah,
nah, I know I can do better than that.
exactly.
It depends on where I am too, because if I'm up here,
Yeah,
you may have to meet me here to tell me what you need to tell me.
right.
You can't be right here and I'm up here. I'm at that height, that energy level up here,
Yeah.
and you're talking to me down here. You can't do that.
We
You have
actually
to meet
talked
me
about
where I
that
am.
last night too. It's just like how do you critique music and tell artists that oh, this isn't good music.
You say it.
Well, and it depends on where that's coming from, because is that coming from a fan of the music, or is it coming from a connoisseur of music, or is that coming
Right.
from a music executive that's branding and building and
Well, all of
artists?
those make a difference
Absolutely.
in music.
You
so
gotta know your audience.
So for me, in my position in music, even if I don't like the music, somebody else might, because you got to think how many
That's true.
billions of songs are out there
Right.
that we don't listen to, but they have following. They have people that listen to it. Different genres. I listen to a multitude of genres, so I'm a little bit more flexible with sounds. But there's definitely going to be some music that's going to come across my email or my inboxes, and I'm going to be like, oh, there's now we have to look into other things.
Well, that's where the research comes in, right? To see on the executive level to see if there's a audience for that, right? So
Absolutely.
that's where that
votes.
comes in at.
Absolutely. If they have a fan base already, that's telling in itself. If they market themselves a specific way and they have a following and they have people that actually subscribe to them and things like that, that's already like you're putting yourself already.
Right, they're starting somewhere because they want to get recognized.
Exactly.
So
And you're
they're
putting
trying.
the work in
Yeah.
to even do that. So it's not so much my job to say, hey, your music is good or bad. Now, if the sound quality is an issue, of course, that's something you got to say, hey, this is
Right.
the levels are off. This needs to
Right,
get
right.
remixed or remastered. And I've actually had to go through that with my song because I've had a song out for a long time. I don't really promote and things like that because it's very old. But I had it remastered. And salute to Ejila Beats over at Orchestration Institute. He does mixing, mastering, DJ, producer. phenomenal. He's got a venue space as well. He took this song and it was good, but he made it like fantastic. Well, you know what? Because I'm waiting on another version because there's a remix that's connected to that. So I'm waiting on the release of that and then other things to really hone in on that. But one thing when it comes to music for me is I started in entertainment as a rapper, as a poet, as a lyricist. That was my thing. The difference coming back into this industry, in 2020, if I walk into a room and say, "Hi, I'm Lexi, I'm a rapper," or I was Princess back then. I'm a rapper. I'm going to have a different conversation from the executives all the way down to the artists than I do when I walk in the room and say, "Hey, I'm CEO Lexi of Couture Music Management. I'm a music executive." It's a different conversation. I'm a business.
It is.
Lex.
I am a
Lexi, I'm going to need to hear that song. She's so well spoken.
Yes.
She's so polite. Such a soft energy. I need to hear that song.
Yeah, I vote that.
She said she was a rapper.
Yes.
I need to hear that song.
Yes.
You guys can hear it everywhere. CEO Lexi. It's Do You Think of Me? It's on all platforms.
And it's a rap.
It's hip hop.
It's hip hop. Okay.
That's the one you sent me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I heard it. It was nice.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Hey guys watching my live, give us a call. Let's talk. 708-223-8953. Join in the conversation. You guys have some questions. We have a wealth of information sitting here at this table. Give us a call. 708-223-8953.
I have a question. Are we just asking?
Okay.
We got a new man in office today. Are we going to touch on that or?
Well, God is still in control. We didn't get anyone in office that's new. Jesus still reigns, right?
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
So whatever effects that happened or didn't happen, he's still happening.
On my professional position, I choose to keep religion and politics in my pocket. I don't think it's something that is beneficial, and mainly because I've observed, and if you were anywhere besides under a rock the past couple of days, social media has been absolutely upside down, and I really despise the fear that was pumped out. Like the energy on election day was so thick, like I didn't even want to go outside, and it was the fear that was being pumped more than anything. And then even afterwards, the fear, and it's just like, hello, it's faith over fear. God is in control.
It's definitely faith over fear.
Always.
What I took away from the election was bullying, intimidation, not letting people be people. We all are individuals.
And all have our own political rights.
With individual thoughts.
Yes.
God gives us free will. He doesn't even force us to worship him. He gives us the choice. It's free will.
He still loves you.
In addition, we live in a democracy. We've been afforded the right to live in the United States, right? And it's free will. Democracy. You get to vote for who you want to vote for. Why does it matter to anyone who you vote for? And what your reasons are? Why are we explaining that?
Yeah.
We got to get away from that as a society.
Exactly. And in relationships, because there was people that were literally like, oh, if you voted for this person, delete me. And I'm like, you guys are seriously ending friendships over views and opinions?
Well,
like,
that means
they were never friends to begin with.
Well, views and opinions count, though, because it does give a lot of your mindset and the way that you think about things. But I don't think that it should be the controlling factor of your engagement with someone. Because me personally, I let people be people.
For me, I have, and I disagree. I think that as long as you can articulate why, because like I said, you can have multiple children and they all will have the same experience, right? And come out with different versions of what that experience was.
Absolutely.
So
it's their opinion.
Right. And the way they ingest it, the same scenario, the same experience is a lot different than their brother or their sister, their sibling. I grew up in the house and my brother tells a story and I'm like, yeah, it didn't happen that way. I'm looking at my sister like, you were there, right? And she's like, yeah, we're on the same page, but he took something different from it.
He perceived it differently.
So for whatever reasons, I could care less. My friends are my friends, my loved ones are my loved ones across political lines.
That's true.
And people need to stop aligning themselves with a political party and align themselves with themselves.
Yes.
Because you have to vote your interest at that particular time. Perhaps maybe the party that you are used to voting for doesn't have a candidate that sufficiently aligns with you at that particular time. Who I am at 20 is not who I am at 30. Who I am at 30 is not who I am at 40.
Definitely not.
So
Growth.
it's gonna vary, and that's why I let my children. I support the decisions, for whatever party they want to vote for, as long as they can articulate and research and not get it from social media or socialization.
Right.
Do their homework and the
Yeah,
research.
do their due diligence.
And we
They
can
have
talk
to
about
know.
it.
Right. That's how
There's
that's how I feel
dialect.
about it. I agree. And
So
agree
I
with
could
that
care
too.
less. Who you vote for your reasons could be for whatever. That's between you, God, and whoever candidate you voted for. I don't get to bully or change your mind, not even if you came through me as a child.
I had a friend. I thought it was from 2024's election, but it was from 2020. And he said he had, I wasn't reading it right on social media, but he had people come over, and he had some cookies that were Trump cookies in the bathroom. And he said someone that came over stomped them out and threw them in the garbage. And I'm like, wow, that's so disrespectful to
Those
come
cookies
in.
was probably good.
Well,
Cookies
possibly.
in the bathroom is a little questionable.
but I found
Maybe
it
that's
to
why
be.
they stomped
I
them.
wasn't going to let that slide, but
Maybe that's why they stomped them.
But
because they were
it's
in the
extreme.
bathroom.
But it's extreme. I think people do take it too far with their opinions of things. To whereas if you would come in someone's house, and 8.5 times out of 10, if you're friends with them, you have some idea of their political view. To do something of that sort, So it was humorous to me. I thought it was funny, but I also thought it was bananas.
So we were the other day. I was talking to some friends, and we were having conversation and banter back and forth and teasing one another about where we stood politically. It was all fun and games.
Right.
At the end of the day, we lack respect for our next human being. I respect them, so I respect their right to have their opinion, to have their vote, to have free will, and that's basically all it boils down to it.
Right, because your friendship isn't based on...
Not even my friendship, people that I don't know. The young lady there that's standing out in the lobby, if she told me she voted for Donald Duck, God bless you.
Right.
Who am I to tell you that I am wholeheartedly right?
I agree.
Who am I?
I agree.
Because you have the opportunity to exercise free will. Yeah. God gave it to me. It's my innate right through him, my divine right through him. Yeah. So you're going to take that from me? You cannot like someone, and all the stuff that I see going on. They need to focus on these local elections.
There it is.
Well, I did listen to Kamala, however you say her wonderful name. And her concession speech was absolutely fabulous, if you guys didn't get a chance to hear it. And the reason why I say it was so fabulous is because it was graceful, it was eloquent, and it was said with tact and class. And I think with all of this, that's the way that you have to handle things. And so she represented that.
You see, a whole nother, I thought that we should have turned the page. I saw the speech, and the speech was good.
That's all.
But there was a couple things about the speech that I was like, let's let that go. You know what I mean? Let's let some of that go. I didn't like the fact, so she looked great that day, and she was full of energy, which I loved. Mm-hmm. But I did not like that you left your people hanging for that long. Come out, do a speech. Let's give them their flowers for holding you up through this election and for doing that kind of stuff for you, standing in line, knocking on doors. Arguing on social media with other people.
Sheesh.
Bullying, if that's what they were doing for you. I'm sure she did endorse that, but you get what I'm saying. I just would have liked to have seen her come out that night and address her people.
Oh, she came out the next day?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the next day.
See, I don't know.
The next afternoon.
Okay.
Which some of it I understood because it was like 2 a.m. Well, I'm not sure where they were, but it was like 1:30 when everything was
Yeah, but I think
it was super late. Like if you watch the people, I don't watch TV. But I watched it because I seen what time it was, and I knew how old some of them people were standing on stage, and I wanted to see was anybody going to take a little nap while they were standing. But that was my entertainment because I was like, I was tired myself.
You wanted to take a nap while they're standing.
I wanted some entertainment out of it.
I resemble that remark.
Because they were up there, and I'm like, and they're in heels standing. I would have like, oh, it's time to go, guys. It's time to go.
Well, let's take these heels off.
Yes. You should always.
I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. I know that
I
it's a big thing
appreciate it,
going on.
and I, although it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, God is still in control. And if you trust Him, if you truly trust Him, you know it's His divine will to have it done that way. So He has a reason for it, and we just have to trust in that and know that we're covered, no matter who's in charge.
I agree with you on that.
And also to speak on social media, to everyone that does take their time to be on social media and utilize those platforms, one of the tips that I have for everyone is to use social media for your benefit. If you are not monetized on social media already, I can't fathom what you're doing. Even if it's only a couple of dollars, they don't pay us a lot. But they don't pay us a lot. But however, they do pay. It depends. So there's the straight monetization. It's not a great amount of money. However, if you do sign up for the other options like ads on your reels, ads on your videos, if you post consistently. I actually had an executive call with a lady from Meta that we were talking about that because she was like, well, how do you want to, what are you looking for to boost? And I said, I want to boost my engagement on Instagram. When I started my Instagram, it was like arts and crafts. So, going back to how I said I started in everything, even though I started in music, I'm also an artist. So couture came from fashion design, and it came from me creating custom clothing, custom decor for homes, drinkware, all these other things. That I had that business first.
One-stop shop.
Absolutely. So y'all gonna get my shameless plugs now. But when I started my Instagram, that's what I was pushing, and I had a different audience for that. So it grew based off of that. So now when it's just like, oh, she's talking business, she's talking music, she's posting music, it's kind of like you see the little dip because they're like, no, bring back that art.
Bring back the what you were doing.
That's where the content creators come in because we're all super, super busy. So that's where the content. There's one of the ladies that was there last week who did a fabulous job. Did you see? I didn't get a chance. I sent it to the Coco
wrong number.
lady.
Okay. Alrighty.
Coco's now a part of our group chat. Inside joke, guys. So, hey there, guys that are watching on live. Give us a call, 708-223-8953. Mr. Dinwiddie, I know that you have something to say. You always have something to say.
While we're waiting on the next call, let me just jump in and let our people know that we are in the fourth quarter of 2024, right? And being in that fourth quarter, it's now people are thinking about income taxes, right? And filing and how much I get.
We're so excited.
And tax brackets, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But
she's trying to stress me out today because I got some things that I'm working on with that, and she's bringing up the business part. Oh my God,
because
lady.
People just want to know, right? So
really,
like, what a lot of people fail to do is around this time is if you've relocated or if your contact information has changed, you need to update that with your prior and or previous employer, right?
Okay.
Because what happens is you ready to file next year and you don't have a W-2. And why? Because it got mailed to the last known address that was on file.
And they just threw it in the garbage.
Right. And so now you got to call these people and wait. Some people have a 72 business hour turnaround time.
Yeah.
And if they don't feel nice enough to email that to you or fax it to you, it's going to go in the mailing system. So you want to just start getting that information updated. You also want to start looking at your W-4s because it's a domino effect. What happens at the beginning is going to trickle down to the end. So you want to know that. And if you end up in deficits, why? What tax bracket are you in? So that's another reason why you need to have an accountant, someone behind you, because a lot of people just don't think about this information. And it's so important and they just look at it, well, okay, now I have this is that. No, it starts from the beginning. And now companies don't teach that anymore. They don't show people what to do, and people just don't know anymore. That's what Anointed Accounting is here for also.
So my co-host is absolutely correct, but she wants to like dim the light here with all this business stuff, right? She wants to make me start thinking about next year and give me anxiety because, you know, taxes are really stressful. That's the reason why we have her.
We feel like Sean's going to get that assistant quicker.
Yeah. You know,
Yes.
I feel like dumping it in her lap. I'm going to bring my taxes, right? And I'm going to lay them in her lap. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to think about them. That's her job.
And you're right. And just
That
drop
is her
everything
job.
out. Just drop any questions that I have. I'll get back with you.
Resources.
Yes.
Yes. Utilize your
Yes.
resources.
And you may very well get to love taxes.
Oh, no.
You may even
no.
fall in love with the IRS,
Listen.
like me.
No, when
Listen.
you're doing them, when you find
Yeah,
someone
the
that's doing them
IRS.
right and making it so that you can get as less that you have to pay as possible, and some of those really good accountants who know what they're doing can
Yeah.
take you to that level.
I stay in my lane. I know what kind of person I am. I do the things that I'm good at. I'm going to lay that stuff in her lap.
Come on, bring it on. Anointed
For sure.
Accounting welcomes you. We want you. As a matter of fact, come now.
What's the phone number?
312-837-7219, 312-632-8860. I want you to get in touch with us. We have two numbers. Visit us at www.anointedaccounting.com.
So-
I'm waiting to talk to you.
What
I don't
she
care
said-
how messy your documents are either.
So what she said is
We
call her
appreciate that disclaimer.
look at www.anointedaccounting.com. She went through all of that and she lost me. So I have a form of little ADHD, I guess. So
Yes.
what she was talking about was www.anointedaccounting.com.
Some people spell it with two N's. That's why I spell it out.
She spelled it anointedaccounting.com, but it is with one N. So Michael Dinwiddie says, I'm in a focus group and the results showed America's not ready for a woman president. Just want you ladies' opinion on it. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm with you on that. And I
agree,
kind
too.
of thought that until the House flipped and the Senate flipped and the House is there, almost there. So I think people just want change. If it was related to her, we would have saw a different pattern, the House, a different pattern with the Senate. So I'm not inclined to agree with that after that came to light. So I initially thought that, Michael, but everything flipped. So I just think people want change. And she did not convey to us or to people, the ones that didn't vote for her, she did not convey to them enough or get the message across to separate herself from Joe Biden or the economy that's going on, you know, what's going on in the economy right now. When she was asked, I guess they were saying that she said something like she wouldn't change a thing, when in fact her policy says she would. But I don't think that message got over, and I think that it has nothing to do with being a woman after the House and the Senate are going that
Can
way.
I speak to that?
Absolutely.
I think that it definitely had something to do with her being a woman and a black woman, and I just don't think that America is ready for that. And when the House flipped over, I don't want to get off into my thoughts too much about what I think because that's my personal opinion. But overall, I believe that it's a plan that is being devised that they want to have happen, and it's in fruition and happening now. I hope that it goes on the brighter side and the good side for all people involved. But my personal opinion about the woman, I don't think that America, the people that control America, is ready for a black woman president.
Well, I think, with that being said, there is, when they did some kind of survey, poll, most black people don't think she's black. So,
and somebody said that to me too.
I think that's an issue.
And
Most black people have a problem
and
with
I'm
her
like,
being black.
I thought that was crazy to think that.
Well, I've seen
did.
some despairing, some different things, not despairing, but some different, where her mom was Indian, her daddy was Indian, but Jamaican, but Jamaican Indian. So I don't know. I didn't do the research on it. I didn't care enough for that. For me, and I think there was a time, even when Obama was initially elected, I think people will elect Donald Duck in a purple suit if it's going to suit them, if it's going to give them hope as to better finances or money in their pocket.
I agree with you on that, but the census says that whatever, if I say I'm Chinese, I'm Chinese. So if she's sitting up saying that she's black, then they should take it as she's black too. And I understand.
What you mean a census? Like
when you do the Census Bureau, when you go around and you ask people what nationality.
Oh, that comes around every 10 years?
Yeah, so I'm just saying that
10 years.
Yeah, isn't it every 10 years or something? Every 5 years?
Well,
it's not.
It's every decade, you're right.
Yeah, every 10 years. So I
don't think we should question when someone says what nationality they are.
Well, maybe when you disclose what nationality, I guess during an election, I don't know. So you have to. I'm always black. I've been black since birth. I've been proud African American woman since birth. I love being black. I've always said I was black, and I'm not just saying I'm black because I'm on a radio show, right? So I'm black, right? And I'm not just black. I'm like caramel black, right? Like brown black. So I think that's maybe an issue that the acknowledgement didn't come forth soon enough. I think most people kind of feel like it was embraced by us and she got pulled into that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They always say she went to Hampton. Didn't she go to Hampton?
That don't make you black because you go to Hampton.
Well, no, Howard, but that's an all-black university.
Well, my son went to Morgan, and there were other ethnicities walking around another HBCU, so they're not just...
Right, I'm not taking away from that part of it, but what I'm saying is that she catered to that. She said she was, and she was an AKA, so that's all falls in line with what we call part of being the black experience.
You know, I'm going to take it back to what Shar Unlock said initially. God is still in control.
That's it. And that's it.
And as long as we trust God, then we just have to follow the plan because he has the final say-so.
Oh, that's not true.
No.
So, yes.
And as much as I love politics, I do want to bring up something that's going on tonight as far as current events. There's actually a movie premiere going on. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity
I wanted to go to that.
To speak with Caprice and Fee. They are the writer, producer, and director duo of Jada. And I seen the preview for it. And like I said, I only watch a couple movies a year. This one seems good.
Where is it showing?
It's tonight at Curie Metro High School, 4959 South Archer in Chicago.
Curie High School.
Curie High School. And so
I wouldn't either. That's like 49th and Pulaski, like down there where the intersections meet.
Okay.
It's not far from Midway Airport, guys. I went to a movie premiere with Will Adams. He had something. What was the name of the movie? Help me out, guys. Tubi movie. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. We saw that, and it's like a movie where they capture all of the bloops and blunders and kind of make fun of it. When I went in, I was just like, yeah, okay, what's that? But when I left, it was hilarious. It was entertaining. It kept me engaged. Yes. And the goodie treats that he gave out, that popcorn thing with a whole bunch of goodies in there. It was just, the whole experience. I loved it. We need to go as a group tonight to this.
This is about her dating, becoming a Fed or something like
her
that.
Her husband is, if I might be saying it wrong, but her husband is an FBI agent.
Okay.
And I know there was some
infidelity
there. Look. There you go. Infidelity. And yeah, like I said, I seen the preview and it looks really good. So shout out to Caprice Williams and Fee, this producer, writer, director duo. These are independent filmmakers and they're out here doing their thing, and salute to them.
Speaking of infidelity, I ran across something the other day and it got me to thinking, what do you ladies think about this? I posed the question, would you rather have transparency or honesty in a relationship? if you were given the choice, and why?
Ooh.
Yes, that's definitely.
Can you make, because I kind of look at honesty and transparency as being kind of equal.
So for me, I would rather have transparency than honesty. Honesty is if I ask you something, you're going to tell the truth. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Transparency is you're telling me what it is. I don't have to ask. You're transparent about your actions, the way you move. You're transparent about if for instance, if I say, hey, were you at the movies last night? And he said, oh yeah, I was there. I ran into Sheila and I ran into BB. And yeah, we kind of all hung out and sat together, right? I'm like, I didn't know you was going to the movies.
Right.
That's honesty. He's being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Transparency is, hey babe, I'm going to the movies. I'll call you when I'm done.
Right.
Okay, but what happens if the night changes and it just doesn't go like that?
The night changes and it doesn't go like that.
Yes.
Well, then you update if you're transparent,
okay,
they can trust what you say.
Mm-hmm.
So someone says women don't want truth, most can't handle it, and that may be true, but
I disagree.
I agree with you a lot. I agree with you on that, Shaw, because I prefer transparency. So because I'm gonna be transparent with you,
Mr. Muhammad. Let me tell you this: most women and respectable women would take honesty over BS any day. Tell me the truth. Give me the opportunity to make the decision for myself.
Yes.
And most times I'll support the BS, right? We'll support it. We love you. We'll support it. But ain't no but.
Because
it is. No, it is. We want the truth. I want the truth. I want to be in a relationship where I know where I stand, who I'm with, and that comes along with the, being transparent.
So they say, guys, if a woman likes you enough, she'll lie to herself.
That's true. So
yes.
Ms. Palmer says transparency because I don't want to ask you 20 questions. Just tell all of it. Thank you, Jesus. Yes,
that's
exactly.
Tell me.
You're absolutely correct. And again, Mr. Muhammad, we will go along. As Lex said, we'll lie to ourselves for you guys when we like you enough. Just tell me the truth. Give me the opportunity to respect me enough. Respect me enough to tell me what I'm in and what's going on and allow me to make the decision. Right?
That's only fair.
It's only fair. Makes perfectly good sense to me. We will be sold on your BS. We will support you to the hilt. Especially if I know the truth. No, if I know the truth,
no, thank you.
I'm not supporting your BS, but I will.
When I say it may, so what I mean by BS, it may be BS to me,
right?
But it may not be BS to you. Like for instance, I maybe I shouldn't use that because we won't be friends anymore. So
be mindful.
Yeah, and demure, right. What is it? Mindful, demure. What is it?
Yeah,
demure and. What's it? Mindful, demure,
cutesy.
And cutesy.
That was a good combination.
That was a good combination.
All of them.
Listen, when I say BS, I don't mean...
Okay, Tyrone's about to call in. Come
on, call in, Tyrone.
708-223-8953.
This is going to be good.
You have to enjoy when the men answer the questions that were directed towards women.
Yes.
I bite my tongue when men ask questions that are directed to men. Them thoughts pop in, and I'm like, oh, but then again, I'm like, I can have an opinion, but I can't speak on how to be a man or how to.
That's true. So I always appreciate
let me
a
give you
man's
this.
Point of view.
When I started many years ago, started dating my guy, right? When we got together, what kept me with him was the fact that he was transparent. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to ask a million questions. I did not have to guess where I stood. I understood it, and that's the foundation of our relationship today. Transparency. Men don't understand the value in that. And we're telling you, Mr. Muhammad, we're telling you what it is, and you're telling us that that's not the case.
No, I agree with him. I agree with you on that too, Shar. I do. I agree with you.
You're telling us what it is.
Take what's coming out somebody's mouth.
Yes, we're women. We're telling you, and
I know I can handle it.
Listen, what's going to happen is, and this is probably the reason why I have longevity with male relationships.
We overstep them sometimes.
Yeah, we're
like
going to have this conversation.
Yes, we would try you.
Do you want to come up? Or you want to come to the show one day?
Why does it have to be live? Call in. What, you can't handle this, Tyrone?
You can definitely come in for an interview, though. We won't deny that.
Yeah, we won't deny that, but what's
I don't think Tyrone is ready to sit.
I don't think he's ready either.
I think he is. You know, Tyrone.
I do.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tyrone is ready, ain't he?
Yeah,
Tyrone
always.
is ready.
So, yeah, but trust us. We're telling you, as balanced, centered women of a certain age and a certain stature in life, that we appreciate respect, and it helps the relationship post, because everybody's not meant to be together forever, right? There's relationships that I have that they started out trying to talk to me, and I'm here at their wedding.
He said he just tried to call.
Oh, he said he just tried to call.
We didn't hear it ring.
708-223-8953. 223-8953, and that's area code 708.
This is gonna be good. This is going to be good.
Yeah. So for me, you guys never answered the question about transparency versus honesty.
I definitely, I already kind of knew where you were going with it, but I'm absolutely for transparency, because the same things that you said, similar. I don't want to have to find out on the after part. I don't want to find out afterwards. I don't want to question, because we have intuition anyways. So even if we're not looking for it, we're going to dream about it. We're going to think about it. It's going to appear in some way or another. And we have a caller.
We have a caller. I don't know what happened to Mr. Dinwiddie.
We have our caller. We're going to patch you on in. Hello, caller.
Hi, caller.
Who are we speaking with?
It's Tyrone Muhammad. How you beautiful ladies doing over there?
Hey, Tyrone.
Phenomenal.
We're amazing.
Hey, Crystal, you did talking about that. I'm not ready. That's one thing. If I'm the only one that's ready. You crazy?
Me and Sharp said you were.
I said you were ready.
I said this
I'm
was
ready.
gonna be
I'm
good.
ready to smack the devil, so I can most definitely deal with some queens.
That's all you doing is smacking the devil?
That's all I need to smack. Everything else to take its place.
Okay. That's a hard smack.
No,
You got
that
some-
ain't nothing.
No,
You
that's
got
the
some big
appropriate
It depends
smack.
it depends on who you're talking to.
So Tyrone, the question
so
here.
Let me say this, sisters. I appreciate y'all. Those conversations, oftentimes, those conversations I had in the vacuum, and then y'all talking to each other, and oftentimes men are not even present to defend even the point. So with that being said, I would just add this caveat. We live in a society where, even with white people as well as black people, but the divorce rate is over 60-70%. Let's just say, what I'm saying is, and as it relates to black men and women probably outnumber black men. I would say 25-1. And this is why I would say that. And this is just a prelude to what I'm about to say about the truth. You have gay men who don't want no women. You have bisexual men who I hope y'all don't want them. Then you got men who mass incarceration, and I'm gonna say it again, and y'all hate it alone, and this comes to the truth. Under the Democratic Party, black men and women are mass incarcerated in every one of these cities and states. Not just Democrat, but mainly Democrats. And then so you don't have that population to even have to be made to deal with. Then you got men who run, black men running to white women because they can't deal with black women or whatever the issue may be, because black women run to white men too. Then you got brothers who dying, don't even make the age of 25 years old. Over 300 to 400 black men dead last year. Nobody hollers or screams about any of that happening every day to y'all sons, nephews, cousins, husbands, sneaky leaks and everything, right?
Sneaky leaks. What's sneaky leaks? So, Mr. Muhammad. So what's
Sneaky leaks.
Mr. Muhammad?
With
So
that, go ahead.
So what we're talking about, and we want your expert opinion on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think women would rather have honesty or transparency?
And when you speak of women as a whole, I don't think that is fair, because some women are a little more conscientious about things than others. And so women as a whole, I would say transparency more than truth, because I have seen it too many times with the women in my family.
So why do you say transparency over truth? Let's we're gonna get another.
Because oftentimes, because of the level of insecurities that woman may have about the truth, men often have to show, look, baby, I'm going here. This is what I'm doing. Okay, this is what. And they'll say, hey, you don't have to tell me that. You don't have to check in, but they checking in with you. And they checking to see where you at. And I've seen some of the most sophisticated and even the most confident women. And so on the surface, it seems they're confident, checking in and checking on.
So, Mr. Muhammad,
they're not often so concerned about transparency as it is then become now they really believe in what you're saying. Like you often have to show them that you are a decent individual, or you trying to be as transparent as possible to not hurt her trust or build her trust because of whatever past relationship or issue she may have with the last cat she was with.
Okay. So I agree with that. There are some parts of that I can totally validate. And as far as, women our age and of our caliber, I don't think checking in. I talk to my significant other probably 10 times a day. Just...
Why?
Oh, because I happen to like him.
Okay. I can dig that.
I mean, and I say that's because in the morning, I'm going to, say, hey, good morning, give them a motivational conversation. Okay. Then if something happens at work.
He said, wow. He said, oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That's probably why you still married. Shit.
Well, oh gosh.
So you can't speak for all women, though.
Mr. Muhammad,
you can't speak for single women as it relates to transparency.
I'm single, Mr. Muhammad. Legally, I'm single.
You just say your significant other?
Yeah, we're in a relationship. I'm not married.
You're not single.
So your tax returns say single.
You just know you're married.
The IRS doesn't let me file him. I can't file jointly with them, Mr. Muhammad.
No, that's right.
If you think being married with some paper make a man more righteous and upright towards you're wrong.
Mr. Muhammad, you're wandering off topic, sir. That's not what I said. But guess what? Mr. Muhammad? That's a great topic.
You brought him up, so I'm just only.
I did.
I think I'm on topic.
Yeah, so we definitely all pretty much agree that transparency is key, and we definitely want to thank you for calling in and giving us your views and opinion on this topic, Mr. Muhammad, and we definitely appreciate you tuning in. And do we have another caller?
We do.
We're going to talk to some more men and get their opinions.
Y'all take care, sister. I appreciate y'all. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Keep fighting.
We will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Tune
Tyrone.
in every Saturday.
3 to 5.
Hey, guys. Would you prefer honesty or transparency? 708-223-8953. Mr. Dinwiddie, we're still waiting.
Well, I'm going to answer that for you, Miss Shara. I'm going to go with transparency, and I'm going to go with that not only because I think it's most valuable, but because I'm already detailed, right?
Right.
Like I said last week, I'm nosy, I'm thorough. I got to know what, why, who, when, how come, and when did it originate, and who sat at the table and thought about it.
Are you in law enforcement? No, that's our makeup. Everybody always says I'm nosy. And I'm a quiet nosy though, but yeah.
I'm no.
She's an accountant. I mean, I don't know.
No, I need to know.
I'm nosy. I want to know.
I just think both careers go hand in hand as far as investigating and needing to know everything.
And
see, for me,
I don't want nobody knowing everything about me. I'm not going to ask everything about you.
Well, you're not ready for marriage, baby.
And I'm not going to tell you everything about me. I mean,
it's people you don't lie to, and I tell that to all my clients.
I don't think you. I'm sorry, but I'm not speaking in terms of not being honest. I just feel like everyone is entitled to having their own life and their own thing outside of me. So I'm not gonna quiz you about your whole day and
I can
So,
appreciate that.
so I don't think
That's
it's about,
just me.
I don't think transparency is about quizzing, right? For instance, if I leave here today, right, and we go see Jada, I'm going to call him and tell him how well, he's actually already called and he's going to ask me how the show went and, you know, what did I think and how did my class go? And, you know, we're going to have that conversation. Right. I've already talked to him while I was in class because that's what we do. We encourage and support each other, right? Something happened during the day that he wants me to see or something he's watching politically or, you know, there's an email. So I think it's relationship. It's not, I guess it's all in how you view it. I'll mention, hey, yeah, I'll call you when we leave. I'm getting ready to go. He said can't call into a loud environment at the moment. Okay. I think that when I tell him, hey, babe, I'm going to call you later. I'm getting ready to go with the girls to see Jada.
Right.
That's transparency. That's not me checking in like I have to do it. There's no formal requirement, but you want to be courteous. You want to be.
Yeah, and anything
When
can
you're in a
happen
relationship,
nowadays.
it should be with ease. It
I
shouldn't
agree
be.
with you,
It should.
yes.
You know. It should be. I have no
It shouldn't
problem
be a
sharing.
job.
Yeah, it's ease. It's exchange of information. It's exchange of energy. It should be with ease. It shouldn't be thought of as checking in.
Yeah, and also it's
Grown
a
people
lot
don't
of
check
stuff
in.
happening out
I
here
know, that I agree
nowadays,
with.
and you want
That's
to
what
let
I'm
somebody
saying.
know
Right.
where you are and what's happening and what's going on because you just never know, and you always want just if not more than one, but that person that you talk to regularly on the day-to-day where you are. Whereas like me, I send out a group text, hey, I'm going to Pete's grocery store on 115th. And I want you to come
But you know
find me if
what?
something wrong.
Shar made a very big point in this conversation, and that was that she likes him.
Right.
Yes.
So I think a lot of
Yes.
people don't like the person they're
That
with.
they're with.
And that's where you see that where it's like a control thing or they're
Correct.
projecting insecurity.
It's
they're projecting
perception.
Perception.
Remember earlier in
But
the
we-
conversation, I said people ingest information
Yeah.
through a filter.
Exactly.
And their filter could be whatever. It could be, it's a part of the journey they've been through. So
Right.
some people
Because your
filter
lack of
is
trust,
filthy.
that's why women
They're still
Right.
holding on
It's
to
filthy.
the two relationships.
It needs to be
ago.
cleansed.
The middle
Let's go
school
to the first
relationship
one that they
that they
had,
got cheated-
not even the two.
when they got
the first
cheated
one.
on in seventh
So,
grade.
Yes.
Siobhan, I
gotta
got a
let it
question
go.
for you.
Yes.
Do you share your whereabouts or do you talk to your spouse throughout the day, like just as general conversation with things that are
Yes.
going on? I
Yes.
thought that's normal. I don't see
Yes.
why.
I think it's normal too, and I think the parties at hand know when they're trying to be controlling and when
Right.
it's not.
Right,
This
but-
is a good
but it's
question, but
different.
this is Tyrone again's his comment. He says which I don't necessarily agree with 100%. Because your lack of trust, that's why women prefer transparency. Most women lose men when they feel a woman.
It's too nosy and untrusting.
I agree
Tyrone,
with
I
that
think
too.
I don't think you understand what I mean by transparency. Because I think we're conflating the two. I think some people are conflating the two. Ms. Palmer pointed that out. Transparency is I'm having a conversation with the person I'm in a relationship with, whether it be my girlfriend or whether it be somebody that I am intimately involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Transparency is what you see is what you get.
I like that one.
Yep.
Honesty is if you ask me, I'll tell you. If somebody says, Shar, where you get the shoes from, I'm gonna tell you where I got the shoes from. If Crystal's my girlfriend, I'm gonna say, girl, I was in Gucci yesterday and I got these shoes. So that's the difference between transparency and honesty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not trying to and I have a kid. Well, he's not a kid, he's a young adult. So he's recently graduated from college, right? And you know how they get into the phase where they just everything's about them being an adult and they want to be demonstrative
I'm
about
going through
adulthood.
that right now with my 18-year-old.
Yeah, everything's about I'm an adult. Everything's demonstrative. Like
Shut up.
if I say, call me when you get to the airport or when you board the plane, let me know you boarded and landed. Oh, I'm an adult. No. You see that filter I'm talking about?
Yes,
Right. The
yes.
filter it's being filtered through immature lenses.
Yeah.
It's been
There it
ingested
is.
through immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess when people are talking about
grown
checking
man.
in, it's the same thing.
I agree.
You ingest information.
Yeah.
I happen to like the person I'm with. I happen to talk to him 50 times a day. I laugh and joke. He's my BFF. We talk about anything from politics to he gets my crazy dark humor. So
And then something else that you said that was good, not to cut you off, but you said you talk. And with talking, you gotta have that foundation of communication. Like, I'm supposed to be able to come to you and tell you any and everything, because that's that foundation that was laid. So yes, I can be transparent with you. Yes, I can be vulnerable with you. I can tell you my most deepest secret, because not only do I like you, I trust you, and I'm open with you, and I'm letting you know everything, and you're taking that in, and it's being reciprocated. And communication, a lot of people don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
They lose that in that relationship.
We see it on social media. People aren't talking; they're insisting, texting, and insisting. I mean, our community as a whole.
I'm a fan of texting, but that's another thing.
I like texting too.
I like texting, but in order to cultivate relationships and to invest in relationships, there has to be conversation, because texting, the context could be taken out.
That's true.
Yes,
That's true.
and you don't know like what form it comes from. Like me, I type in all caps. It just
I do too,
better
because
on
I'm
paper.
blind.
And then it's like
So,
you're shouting. That's what I found out.
And when I'm
Somebody
texting, it's all caps.
Somebody said that to me on social media, and I hadn't got my glasses yet, right? And I have astigmatism in one of the eyes, so I need all caps. So they were like, "Stop yelling at me," and I was like, "You can't yell through Facebook. Are you serious?" And
yeah, but because
we're so sensitive and so emotional.
Yep.
Listen, I don't care what font or what text, what you text me in. Just text me back. I mean,
you just want to know.
I'll say this though: when I meet a man, because I'm single, and
she can get y'all a house, and she got lingerie.
There you go.
Right.
You can contact me at 312-877-6687, or you can email me at crystallewis.kw.com. Now, what I was going to say was that when a man does call me, it does spark my interest more. So if I text you, and then instead of you texting me back, you pick up the phone and call me, I say, well, I can tell that he's more into communicating versus texting. So that does spark my interest. That doesn't necessarily mean that it goes anywhere, but that definitely means that at least sparks my interest, because it is about communication.
I'm the same way. When people are reaching out, or even if there's an interest or business, most times you guys will find me picking up the phone and calling you, because you said text, but there is texting etiquette that people are not aware of. Yeah, I'm not.
You can't
Girl,
always
I'm not.
text everything. Some
All
things
caps
you
is
need a
actually
conversation
screaming.
See, I'm
to
gonna
have.
defend my
All caps is Char
But
can't
I'm a
see.
texter too. Don't get me. I will
I'm
text
going
you
to
in a
defend
heartbeat.
myself. The reason I say I'm a texter is because I work on my phone. So 9 out of 10 times I am doing something. I'm either designing or I'm editing, and I work on my phone. And it's just my preference.
Texting's fine. I do it at work. I do it while I'm at work, because it's difficult to talk and do what I'm doing. Texting's fine.
I also have ADHD, I was diagnosed with ADHD at 7, so it's real. So I have to have that. Like when it comes to certain things, it helps me to just remember. I can pull that back up and say, okay, or I'll say send me an email. But however, because I do understand that things can be lost in context, if there is certain conversations that for business especially, we're going to have a phone call. We're going to have a conversation,
and that's
just
when
to
that
make
call
sure.
comes in and say,
yeah, it's clear.
When can you put me on your schedule? When can we talk? Because that person may be busy. They may be tied up, or at that moment they just can't talk. And I just believe a lot of stuff is personal and private, and you don't want to put a lot of that stuff out there. So let's jump on the call now. With technology, we have Zoom, we have Microsoft Teams, we have Slack. There's so many ways that we can connect face to face to get that interaction that we're looking for. But I'm a texter too. I talk on the phone all day at work. When I get off work, I don't want to talk on the phone.
I don't want to see a phone.
I think business is good for texting sometimes, because documentation beats conversation.
Email, and I do it all. You can mail me a letter if you want to. You can fax me.
I think that's where that came from. Now that I think about it, because I worked in call centers for a really long time, and that's probably where that roots from. I did not want to see a phone at the end of the day.
It did.
No. and I probably didn't even want to text. So, but again, if I really like you.
Right. Crystal said something earlier, and she said that I really don't want to be bothered with anybody that personal, like in her business. What do you mean by that?
Okay, when did I say that?
You didn't say it in that way. Basically, what you said is, you said, I don't want anybody, and I'm not sharing everything with anybody, or something like to that.
As far as
right?
checking in.
Checking in.
Well, I don't even want to use the word checking in.
I don't thank you because I don't like that either.
Okay, yeah, I won't use the word checking in.
What we were talking about.
Right, yeah, I won't use the word checking in, but I feel like everyone is entitled to having their own personal life outside of their relationship with that person.
You have to.
Right, so I think a lot of times when you do too much giving of information before that time is right, you're building a platform or the stage for a person to feel as though you have to tell them every move that you make.
Someone said Crystal doesn't want a relationship. She wants a special friend.
Well, thanks for speaking for me. But I do want a special friend. That is correct. I do want a special friend, and I want a friendship before I dive off into creating a relationship. I want to like the person, as Shar said, that I'm dating and getting to know. I don't want anyone trying to press me into anything, and because I'm not going to pressure you into anything.
That's important.
Yeah, so that is a correct statement.
And that's why Shar has intentional dating.
That's why I have
Here we go.
etc. Right?
Segue into it.
That's why I have love, etc. Listen, you should know what your interest, your love interest, or your special interest. You should know what their intentions are. Communication, talking, not texting, will get you there. So Love Etc. is a platform that I started. It's a dating platform, and it's about intentional dating with long-term and commitments. She said being transparent and vulnerable allows that, Crystal. Yeah, it does. So if you're interested in long-term dating, you're interested in marriage, this is the platform for you. I deal with a lot of people, and I deal with a lot of men. I work in a male-dominated field. So I know. So over a period of time, the last year or so, I kept having these redundant conversations. Men want the same thing we want, ladies.
I agree.
They want transparency. They want a decent relationship. They want somebody to love and care for them. They want, fidelity.
And a decent woman.
They want all these things. And they're repeatedly telling me that there's not a suitable interest. There's no one suitable that fits that interest. So with that being said, I thought about, and of course I know women all the time. I know my girlfriends and the women I know and the groups I'm involved in and the boards I sit on. I hear it all the time too. So I thought about bringing the two together, and love conquers all, right?
Absolutely.
So we're launching, is it December 9th? No, December 8th.
We got to ask her assistant.
Right, and the assistant comes December 1st. See, that's
so
why
let
you
me
need
tell you
that
a
assistant.
secret why Brian got me the assistant, right? Brian got me the assistant because I was putting him to work. I had asked him to do a couple tasks, right?
You can't ask Brian to do no tasks.
Baby, he did it, but he was like, look, Sean, you got to get an assistant.
Yeah.
So it's December the 8th. That's when it is.
Okay.
And we have our birthday party, Toki. Anybody has been following us for the last few weeks at Dollhouse, our birthday party is going to be the 7th at Toki Shop at 9051 South on Stony Island. So that's going to be fun and lit.
So the launch,
launch
for
the dating platform, can we get more information on that?
So that's, I'll have more details next week, but that's going to be, it's going to share the platform of my birthday, of course. The birth of my birthday, the birth of me, and the birth of the
Why not?
the platform.
That's your baby.
That's my baby.
So
and
I know I'm going to get your taxes.
So can we know, is this like website, app, everything?
It's going to be app, website. It's going to be, I like interactive things. Though.
Are you going to do like some actual events?
Some actual events where, remember the old face to face love connections. Do you guys remember exactly I told you about it, the whole game show Love Connection?
Yes,
we're going to do
the couch.
that.
It was pink and like purple.
So guess what I've been doing? I've been gathering questions I've been asking men to give me 10 questions, and some women, for questions that you would pose to potential love interest, whether it be, commitment or marriage. Before I took the next step, if I'm going to take the next step, hey, listen, these are the questions that I would want to know before making my decision to say whether we're going to lock this in solid, either longevity or, committed marriage. So it's been interesting. You should see some of the questions.
Good.
I would love
My
to see
question
some of
that
those
I
questions.
wanted to ask in your conversation with men, do you think that men have stepped away? Because on social media, I see a lot of men, which I find very unfortunate, that a lot of times they're like, I'm not taking care of no woman. I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. And I just think that that's the wrong way to lead into a relationship, that you just have this mindset. And taking care of a woman is not necessarily paying all of her bills so much per se, which that's good. But, but you have to, women have a role that they play and men have a role that they play in a relationship.
Right. So I want a priest, provider, and protector. Everyone has their own journey and their own requirements. That's just my requirement. I actually appreciate men who tell me who they are up front. And if you lead with that, then, I generally I will delve into what you mean by that. Because if you're thinking I'm going to stay at home and pick my nose and wait for your money to come in, that's not what it is. We're going to blow up together.
Right.
So,
Right. We're going to try. That was last week's conversation with Brian, remember? At the restaurant?
So I teach my boys. Yeah, oh gosh, please don't bring up that.
McFlurries.
Right, the McFlurries. I teach my boys to be priest, provider, and protectors, to be the leader in their household. How can you join forces with someone and you don't know how to lead your own camp? So get someone, pick a mate or someone who is quality,
Not a liability.
Not a liability, but you need to be able to pay your own bills. You don't get a woman that you need to help support you. Live within your means. Don't commit until you are a priest, provider, and protector. And I also tell my boys, you have no darn business dating if you don't have your ish together. Get your ish together.
There it is.
Get your ish together.
You got to be
and
together.
then date.
You can't come half stepping like.
I just don't like that a lot of the men are leading with that whole. That's a negative way to come into the dynamic of getting to know a woman, to me, because we're beautiful, we're soft.
I feel like that's some transparency though, and it just makes it easier to
It
say,
does.
no, thank you.
Right. It
Right.
is
And keep it
transparency,
moving.
and it lets you know up front what you're looking for.
No,
But
that's
like
true.
you
I agree.
said-
I agree with you
Like
saying.
you said, you
That's
got to
true.
put
That's what I-
yourself
that's true.
in
You're right.
And
that
I feel
environment.
like with what Char's doing, like there should be that criteria where you know ahead of time.
That's why it's intentional. If you're
Yeah,
on my
right.
platform,
Yeah,
there's no question about you wanting long term
absolutely.
or you want marriage.
Yeah.
Now, you may not get a match right away.
Right.
You may not find somebody right away, but at least you're intentional. You know everybody on this platform has the same intention.
Remember $1 Million
Yes.
Matchmaker? Remember her?
No, I don't.
You don't remember?
So-
Do you remember her?
I remember it.
You
A little
remember
bit. I
her?
don't remember why,
Yeah.
but I remember the name
Yeah.
itself. So are we signing Crystal up or what?
You can sign me up.
Baby, Crystal's going to be the model for it, baby. Listen,
Yes.
we're going to have Crystal being the model. We're going to have all the millionaires and everybody coming for Crystal.
There we go.
Come on. That's what I want. Somebody gonna take care of the business.
Yeah.
So let me jump in and let me go to Miss CEO Lexi.
Yes.
You asked me about having
I'm
musicians.
gonna double check my
Yeah, entertainers in general.
Yes.
out there.
So I said, and I've always told my close circle of friends and family, like, I love music and I come from a music background, and one of my favorite artists, new artists for this generation, is Lil Baby.
Okay.
And I always said, like, that's gonna be my client. Like, he's gonna look me up and he's gonna be my client. And we
Speak it
laugh
into
at that.
existence.
Yes, and you're in the music industry, and that's building those relationships and hosting those events and coming out and educating people,
Yes.
because you want your entertainers to know, look, like you said, you need to be incorporated, but did they do their due diligence? Did they do their research? Why are they choosing this over that?
Yeah.
You know, they want to go to someone that's not just familiar, but know, and again, that don't mind saying, I'll let you know, let me go finish doing my research. Like, now there's a new act in effect, the Corporate Transportation Act for businesses that were in effect before 2024, and you have to be registered.
Is that the BOI?
Yes,
Okay.
you have to be registered by January 2025.
Right.
A lot of businesses just don't know that. So
a lot of businesses also, and I'm going to cut you off, a lot of businesses also don't understand that they need to file annual reports.
Yes,
to
your
stay in
annual
good
corporate
standing.
report, not just to stay in
And
good
when
standing,
you
but to
said-
keep that name.
When you said when you had
One
said as a
time.
reminder, you know, we're in the fourth quarter, update your address and things like that. That's something that I think a lot of people, they might go to like third party,
So
or
my
they might do it
battery's low. I
themselves.
may
And
lose you
if your
guys,
address
but
isn't
I'm
updated, you're
gonna
not
come
going
back.
to get that
You're
important
not.
information to know that you need to file
Right,
your
because-
annual report. And if you don't file your annual report in time, the fees that